Hi, I have Melissa Hunt with Childhood Connections, Okanagan Family and Childcare Society. Did I get that right? Welcome,
Yeah,
Melissa.
you did, Stephanie. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us on here.
Good. So tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yeah, you bet. So, yeah, Childhood Connections, our long name is Childhood Connections, Okanagan Family and Childcare Society, but we recently rebranded from Kelowna Childcare Society to Childhood Connections. Probably that happened in 2018. And for over 43 years now, we've been in the community, and our primary focus is to support parents and childcare providers with quality childcare. So whether they're running a family childcare program in their home, or they're having a larger group center in the community, or it's a parent or caregiver caring for a child. We're there to support them with education, training, child development resources, toys, child development check-in tools like the Ages and Stages questionnaire. We also give them referrals, parents referrals that are new to the community, or they're just coming off parental leave and they're needing to find childcare. So they'll connect with us and we'll connect them with a childcare program in the community. And that's through our childcare resource and referral program. And there's 40 of those programs across BC. So we're one of 40, so a nice network there. And then we're also a family resource program. And we operate a few programs under that. We do a Facebook live story time with that program, and now an in-person Mother Goose program, so just in the park close to our office. We're doing a social distance in-person Mother Goose program. And we also run a playful healing program, which is one-to-one play therapy sessions for children aged around 2 to 12. And we also, new to our program under Family Resource Programming, is our Nourish Families initiative. So that's a buy one, give one meal program for community members to support a family in need. They purchase a meal for themselves, and then that generates a meal for family in need. And then we bring the family a meal, and we also bring them child development resources like toys from our lending library, an activity bag that's filled with a child development resource and activity that's age appropriate and sort of connected to different milestones in children up to about age 5 or 6. And yeah, I think that sort of sums up what we're doing in the community right now to support parents and families.
That's great. And how do volunteers make an impact with your programs?
So yeah, in the past, we've had volunteers support our library mostly. So they would come into our library and go through our activity bins, go through our puzzles and different games, and just check that everything was included as listed on the sheets, and so that there was time consuming because we only have limited staff that are able to do that. So when parents return toys, sometimes there's something missing. And so we would have our volunteers check in on that, because there's nothing more disappointing than a child almost finishing a puzzle and there's one piece missing. So we'll want to take that out of the inventory and get that sorted out, or buy a new toy if it's damaged or needs some repairs. So we've had volunteers help with that. JCI has come in and done a day of giving with us and donated time, and they have a great time playing games together and building puzzles and being kids again in our library. So we still need support in our library in that capacity, helping us organize, clean, and look through the toys to make sure everything's good to go for the next parent and child to loan it out to them. And new to our organization is the Nourish Families initiative. So our volunteer drivers are instrumental in helping us get meals delivered to the community members, and then we're also looking for community members that have a social service background or family services background that can connect with our families in need, because that needs a little extra support. It's not just a meal delivery. We're needing them to make that connection over a 6-week period and check in on the family, see what other resources they need besides the meal, and the child development resource that we have dropped off as well with that meal. And garden volunteers. So JCI has donated vegetables and a plot of land that they're farming at Helen's Acres. They have donated for the next few months some of the vegetables that are grown there, and we're needing garden volunteers to help us pick the vegetables with them and clean them and prep them to give to our families in need.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
There's another organization that has land too, so that's at Helen's Acres, so that's great. Lots of gardening opportunities for those who don't have their own gardens anymore.
Right, it's great. It's great, and it's great opportunity to get outside, and those community members that might live in condos, like my mom is excited. She's just started volunteering with us. Nothing like roping family into your organization to do some volunteer, but she's volunteering with the gardening because she used to live in a home with a big garden, and now she lives in a condo. So she's actually excited to get her hands dirty and help us out there. So
yeah, it's great to pitch into a garden and not have to take care of the whole thing yourself. But yeah, it's an awesome opportunity. It's not necessarily something we think of as a volunteer opportunity, so that's great. So you mentioned quite a few volunteer opportunities. Are many of those opportunities open right now? Or are you looking for specific volunteers?
Yeah, definitely. So we're actively looking for drivers for our Nourish program. So we're looking for volunteers that have a clean driving record, Class 5 driver's license, and a reliable vehicle so that they can pick up the food to be delivered, the meals. So they're ready to eat meals that are delivered between 3 and 5 on Thursdays. So it's very specific for those volunteer drivers. So that commitment's weekly on Thursdays. And then the family support volunteers, there's a little bit more training that's involved with those, and some more experience and qualifications that are necessary for that, because they're going to be committing to a family for 6 weeks and bringing them a meal, some produce, some bread that's donated to us from Okanagan Grocer, as well as resources that they will learn as needed from the family once they build that relationship. So that volunteer position, both of those are open right now. We're actively looking for volunteers for those two, and as well the volunteer gardeners as well, looking for people on Saturday specifically to pick, and then Monday to clean and prep for the Thursday delivery of the produce. Yeah, and also we're always looking for support in our library. Our library is going to be reopening to families September, and so right now we're looking to get some support just to get it ready for families to start using again. We have different procedures in place for washing and sanitizing the toys, so again that's going to take more time going forward than we have had in the past. So yeah, all those 4 positions.
Sorry, and you did mention some specialized skills, the social work background type thing. Is there anything else for specialized skilled volunteers?
Yeah, I think definitely for the family support workers, looking for those who've had some social service experience or work in that field, working with families and the community. So maybe retired community members who were in the social work field, were in the family support sector to some capacity, and they're looking just to do a couple hours a week to connect with the family and build that relationship to see what the family needs besides the food delivery that we're providing. I think once they connect with the family, they'll see what other resources they need. For example, after the 6 weeks period, we do an exit survey with the families, and the one family is now connected to our Mother Goose program. So she's taking her son and daughter just across the street now to our outdoor circle of Mother Goose, and has been connected to our toy lending library. So we'll continue to use the toy lending library after the 6-week period. So yeah, so that volunteer position, definitely looking at community members who have had a background of working with children and families in the past. Yeah.
Good. And you did mention some time commitment, but is there an overall number of hours per week that you would expect from your volunteers? And what type of training time is involved?
Yeah, so working in our toy and resource library, that will be very flexible depending on what their schedule is, just to sort of work around their schedule to come in maybe a couple hours a week just to support with the cleaning, organizing, and sort of inventory check of the toys and resources to get them ready for the families. And that training is pretty minimal. It'll just be kind of getting to know our organization a bit and then learning about the different resources and toys and just sort of the organization of that piece in the library. And the drivers, it'll be an orientation of the program. They will just be delivering the meals to the community members. So it'll just be sort of a door drop, like a Boston, like a Domino's Pizza or Papa John's kind of delivery to the door. And the information is stapled to the bag, so there's no need for communication, and the social distancing is maintained, so it's just a quick drop. But the family support workers have a more in-depth conversation with the family, checking in on them, checking in on how their week's going and what resources they might be able to bring for the following week. So that does take there'll be a bit of training involved with that, and then a bit of a longer time commitment, because it's not just a simple drop off, it's building that relationship and connecting with the family. So there'll be a bit more time spent one-on-one at the door with the family.
Great.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to volunteer with Childhood Connections, what are the steps I need to take?
Yeah, so right now, if you go on our website, so childhoodconnections.ca, and you go to our Nourish Families program, you can click on that link and there'll be a little square that says volunteers, and you can click on that and there's the information on how to connect with Sylvia Wells, and she's our volunteer coordinator for that program. So Sylvia W at childhoodconnections.ca. Or you could phone our offices, 250-762-3536.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like an interested volunteer to know?
Yeah, I think there's quite a few diverse opportunities here at Childhood Connections. So anybody who's interested in supporting families, children, early years, early childhood development, or has some interest in those areas in that field, please, connect with us. There's, I think, probably opportunities that we haven't even thought about. So please, connect with us and we'll see where we can find some interesting and exciting opportunities for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie, so much for having us. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.